Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I am Nurati Suliha. Here I will read the story entitled Susan Glaspell, The Jury of Her Parents. When Martha Hale opened the storm door and got a cut of the not one, she ran back for her big woollen scarf. As she hurriedly wound it round her head, her aunt made a scandalous sweep of her kitchen. It was no ordinary thing that called her away. It was probably farther from ordinary than anything that had ever happened in Dixon County. But what her eye took in was that her kitchen was in a shed for living. Her breath already fermented, half the floor safe and half unshifted. She had to see things half done, but she had been at that when the team from town stopped to get Mr. Hell, and then the sheriff come running in to say his wife wished Miss Hell welcome to, eating with a grin that he guessed she was getting scary and wanted another woman alone. So she had dropped everything right where it was. Martha, now come here has been impatient twice. Then keep for sliding out here in the cold. She again opened the stone door, and this time joined the three men and the one woman waiting for her in the big two-seated boat. After she had her robes tucked around her, she took another look at the woman who sat beside her on the back seat. She had met Miss Peters the year before at the country farm, and uh, and the thing she remembered about her was that she didn't seem like a sheriff's wife. She was small and thin and didn't have a strong voice. Miss Carmen, sheriff's wife before Carmen went out and Peters at a point that somehow seemed to be backing up the law with every word. But if Miss Peters didn't look like a sheriff's wife, Peters made it up in looking like a sheriff. He was the kind of man who could get himself elected sheriff. He remained with a big voice, who was particularly genial with the law ability, as if to make it plain that he knew the difference between criminals and non-criminals. And right there it came into Miss Hale's mind with a step that this woman who was so pleasant and lively with all of them was going to the right now as a sheriff. The climate is not very pleasant this time of year. Miss Peters at last ventured, as if she left they ought to be talking as well as the men. Miss Hales scarcely finished her reply, for they had gone up a little hill and could see the right place now, and seeing it did not make her feel like talking. It looked very lonesome this cold March morning. It had always been a lonesome-looking place. It was done in a hollow, and the poplar trees around it were lonesome-looking trees. The men were looking at it and talking about what had happened. The county attorney was bending to one side of the boat and kept looking steadily at the place as they drove up to it. I'm glad you come with me, Miss Peters said nervously, as the two women were about to follow the men in through the kitchen door. Even after she had her foot on the doorstep, her hand on the knob, Martha Hale had a moment of feeling she could not cross that threshold, and the reason it seemed the golden cross it now was simply because they hadn't crossed it before, time and time again it had been in her mind. I owe to Albert and see minimum Foster. She still took of her as a Minnie Foster, so for 20 years she had been Miss White. And then there was always something to do, and Minnie Foster walked from her mind. But now she could come. She meant one for to this talk. The woman stood close together by the door. Young Henderson, the county attorney, turned around and said, "Come on to the fight, ladies." Miss Peter took a step forward, then stopped. "I'm not cool," she said. And so the two women stood by the door, at first not even so much looking around the kitchen. The man talked for a minute about what a good thing it was the sheriff had sent his deputy out the morning to make a fire for them. And then Sheriff Peter stepped back from the stove, unbuttoned his outer coat, and leaned his hands on the kitchen table in a way that seemed to mark the beginning of official business. "No, Mr. Hale," he said in a sort of semi-official voice, "before we move things about you tell Mr. Henderson just what it was you saw when you come here yesterday morning." The country attorney was looking around the kitchen. "By the way," he said, "has anything been moved?" He turned to the sheriff. "Are things just as you left them yesterday?" Esther looked from a cupboard to see. From that to a small worn rocker a little to one side of the kitchen table. "It's just the same. Somebody should have been left her yesterday," said the county attorney. "Oh, yesterday," returned the sheriff, with a little gesture as of yesterday having been more than he could bear to think of. "When I had to sing from the Murray Center for that man who went crazy. Let me tell you, I had my hands full yesterday. I knew you could get back from Omaha today, George, and as long as I went over everything here myself." "Well," Mr. Hale said, the county attorney, in a way of letting what was past and gone go. "Tell just what happened when you come here yesterday morning." Miss Hale still leaning, um, Miss Hale still leaning against the door, had the sinking feeling of the mother was still is about to speak a mind. There is often wandered alone, and those things mixed up in a story. She hoped he would tell his straight and fine, and not say unnecessary things that would just make things harder for me fast. He didn't begin at once, and she noticed that he looks queer, as if standing in that kitchen and having to tell what he had seen there yesterday made him most sick. "Yes, Mr. Hale," the county attorney smiled. "Harry and I had started to town with a lot of potatoes," Miss Hale's husband began. Harry was Miss Hale's oldest boy. He wasn't with them now, for the very good reason that those potatoes never got to town yesterday and he was cooking them this morning. So he hadn't been when the sheriff stopped to say he wanted Mr. Hale to come over to the right. place and tell the county attorney his story here, where he could find it all out with all Miss Hell, other emotion come the fear, know that maybe Harry once dressed warm enough. They didn't any of them realize how did not when did we come along this road. What was going on with the motion of the hand to the road after which they had just come. And as we got inside of the house, I says to Harry, I'm going to see if I can get Johnny right to take a telephone. You see, he explained to Henderson, because I can get somebody to do it with me, they won't come up this branch or expect for a price I cannot pay. I was spoke to write about it once before, but he put me off saying so, talked too much anyway. But all he asked was this and wait, is you know about how much he taught himself. But I thought maybe if I went to the house and talked about it before his arrival, uh, it before his wife and sight the woman called like the telephones, and that in this lonesome stretch of road it would be a good thing. Well, I said to Harry that was that I was going to say too. I said at the same time that I didn't know as what his wife wanted made much difference to George. No, there he was, saying this he didn't need to say Miss Hell tried to get her husband aid. But fortunately, the county attorney interpreted it. Let's talk about that a little later. Mr. Hell, I do want to talk about that, but I'm anxious how to get along to just what happened when you got here. When he began this time, it was very deliberately and carefully. I didn't see you, I didn't see or hear anything. I knocked at the door, and still it was all quiet inside. I knew they must be up. It was past 8 o'clock. So I knocked again, louder, and I thought I heard somebody say, come in. Wasn't sure. I'm not sure yet. I opened the door, the steward jerking a hand toward the door by which the two women stood, and there, in the rocker, pointing to it, sat Miss Wright. Everyone in the kitchen looked at the rocker. It come into Miss House, and that rocker didn't look in the less like Minnie Foster. The poster of 20 years before, it was a genie red with warning rungs up the back, um, and the middle rung was gone, and the chair sagged to one side. How did how did she look? The county attorney was inquiring. Well, said Hill, she looked queer. How do you mean queer? As he asked it, he took out a notebook and Miss Hall did not like the sight of that pencil. She kept her eye fixed on her husband, as if to keep him from saying unnecessary things that would put in going to that notebook and make trouble. How did speak girlly, as if the pencil had affected him too. Well, as if she didn't know what she was going to do next, and kind of that. How did she seem to feel about your coming? Why, I don't think she might. uh, one way or other. She didn't pay much attention. I said, "Who do Miss White? It's cool and it." And she said it's it, and went to unpleasant at her approach. Well, I was surprised. She didn't ask me to come up to the stage or to sit down. Just sit there, uh, not even looking at me. And so I said, I want to see you. And then she no. I guess you will call it alone. I do of Harry and the kid outside. So I said a little sharp, can I see John? No. Safety kind of delight. And Mm, and he hummed, says, then he looked at me. Yes, says he has hummed. Then why cannot I see it? I asked her of patience with her nose. Cause his head size she just squid and draw and failed to pleasing her upon it. Guys, I like you do when you cannot take in what you heard. She just nodded her head, not getting a bit excited, but rocking back and forth. Why? Where is he? Says I not knowing what to say. He just pointed upstairs like this, pointing to the room above. I got up, with the idea of going up there myself. By this time, I didn't know what to do. I walked from there to here. Then I says, why what did he be up? Get it up of get it up get it out of a rope from his neck. The she and just one on laden at her apron. Hal stopped speaking and stood tapping at the rock as if he were still seeing the woman who had said that the morning before nobody spoke. It was if very one word saying the woman who had said that there the morning before. And what did you do then? The country attorney address broke his silence. I want to out and called Harry. I thought I'd make need help. I got Harry in, and we went upstairs. His voice feel almost whisper. There he was lying over the. I think I will rather have you go into that upstairs. The country attorney interrupted. Um, where you can point it all out, just go on now with the rest of the story. Well, my first job was to get a prop of the plot of the story. Well, my first job was to get the prop of it. He stopped, his face was twitchy, but Harry, he went up to it, and he sighed, and he said, no, he said alright, and we better not touch anything, so we went downstairs. She was well sitting there same one. Has anybody been noticed? As no, says she uncovered. Uncensored. Who did this Miss Wright? Said Harry. He said it business like, and she stopped looking at her approach. I don't know, he said. You don't know, he says Harry. Weren't you sleeping in the bed with him? Yes, said she, but I was on the side. Inside, somebody slipped a rope around his neck and strangled him, and you didn't wake up. Says Harry, I didn't wake up. She said after him. We may have looked as if we didn't see how that could be. Or after a minute she said, I sleep sound. Harry was going to ask her more questions, But I said maybe that weren't our business. Maybe we ought to let her tell her story first to the coroner of the sheriff. So Harry went as he called over to Hagrid. The river place, where there's a telephone, and what did she do when she knew you had gone for the courthouse? Mm. The attorney got uh, his pencil in his hand already for right. He moved from that chair. It is one of over here. Now pointed to a small chair in the cart. It just sat there with her hands held together and looking up. I got a feeling that I ought to make some conversation. So I said I had come in to see if John went to put in a telephone. And at that she started to laugh. And then she stopped and looked at me scared. At sort of a moving picture, the man who was telling his story looked up. I didn't know. Maybe it wasn't started. He hesitated. I would like to say it away. When Harry got there. And then Dr. Lilith comes, and you, Mr. Peter, and so I guess that's all I know that did it. Besides, besides that was with the lip and moved a little. As if relaxing, everyone moved a little. The county attorney walked towards this tired door. Tired door. I guess we'll go upstairs first, then out to the brand and around there. He paused and looked around the kitchen. You're confessed. You're confessed there was nothing important here. He asked the sheriff, nothing that would point to any motive. The sheriff looked all around and the sheriff looked all around as if to reconfine himself. Nothing here but kitchen things. He sighed with a little love for the insignificance of kitchen things. The country attorney was looking at the cupboard, a peculiar and gaily structured, helpless and half cupboard. The upper part of it being built in the wall. In the lower part, just the old-fashioned kitchen cupboard, as if its springs attracted him. And he got a chair and opened the upper part and looked at it. After a moment he drew his hand away sticky. There's a nice mess, he said reasonably. The two women had drawn nearer and now the sheriff's wife spoke. Oh, you're free, he sighed, looking to Miss Hale for sympathy. Understanding, she turned back to the county attorney and his wife. She worried about that one it turned so cold last night. She sighed the fire would go out and here just might burst. Miss Peters has been broke into a lot. Well, tell me about the woman, her poor manager, and worrying about the rest of us. The young attorney set his lips. I guess before we're through with her, she may have something more serious than precepts to worry about. Oh, well, said Miss Harris softly, with good nature superiority one are used to worrying over trifles. The two women moved little closer together, neither of them spoke. The county attorney suddenly to remember his manners and think of his future. And yet, said he, with the gallantry of a young politician, for all their worries, what would we do without the ladies? The woman did not speak, did not unbend. He wanted to sing and began washing his hands. He turned to wipe them off the ruler towel. He rolled it for a cleaner place. Dirty towels, not much of a housekeeper. Would you say, ladies? He kicked out his foot again. Some dirty pants under the sink. There's a great deal of work to be done on home, said Miss Hell, deeply. To be sure, and yet, with a little bow in hair, I know there are some Dixon County farmhouses that do not have such rules, however. He gave it full to expose its full length again. The towels get dirty awful quick, and hands aren't always as clean as they may be. Ah, loyal to your sex. I see. He knows. He stopped and gave her a candle. But you and Miss Wright were neighbors. I suppose you were friends too. Not a hell shock for him. I have seen little enough of her of late. I have not been in this house. It's more than a year. And why was that? You didn't like her? I like her. Well, no, he replied with spirit. Farmers' wives have their hands full. Mr. Handsome, and then she loved her. Yes, encouraged it. It never sound very careful then, said she more to herself than to him. No, he agreed. I don't think anyone was how it cut. I should say he had the home making his tea. Well, I don't know as right had either. She mattered to you and they didn't get on very well. He was quick to ask, no, I don't mean anything. She answered with decision, as she turned a little away from did, but I didn't think a place would be any the careful for John Wright's when for John Wright's being in it. I really like to talk to you about that little letter Miss Hell decided and she shows to get the lay of things upstairs now. He moved toward the staircase, followed by the two men. I suppose anything Miss Petter does will be all right. The sheriff inquired. He was taking in some thoughts for her, you know, and a few little things we left in such a hurry yesterday. County attorney looked at the two women whom they were leaving alone there among kitchen. Yes, Miss Petter, he said, his glance resting on the woman who was not Miss Petter, the big farmer woman who stood behind the sheriff's wife. Of course, Miss Petter is one of us. She sighed in a manner of entrusting responsibility and keep your eye out, Miss Peters, for anything that might be of use. A training new woman might come up with a clue to the movie, and that thing we need Mr. Howell rubbed his face after the occasion of the showman getting ready for a blast. But would the woman know the clue if they did come upon it? He sighed, and having gathered himself of this, he followed this other through the staircase. The woman stood, motionless and silent, listening to the footsteps first upon the stairs, then in the room above them. Then, as realizing herself from something strange. Miss Hell began to arrange the recipes under the seat, which the country attorneys, disdainful piles of food had direct. I will that I will have to have men coming into my kitchen. Besides, testily snooping around and pretending, of course, it's no more than their duty, sighed the sheriff's wife, in her manner of timid assurance. Duty's all right, replied Miss Hill bluntly. But I just that deputy sheriff that come out make the fire make have got a little of his own. She gave the ruler towel up to her, which I will do of Miss Student. Seems mean to talk about here for not having things slicked up when she had to come away in such a hurry. She looked around the kitchen. Certainly it was not slicked up. Her aid was held by a bucket of sugar on the low shelf. The cover was of the wooden bucket, and beside it was a paper bag. Well, Michelle moved toward it. She was putting this it in there. She said to Elsa slowly. She thought of the food in her kitchen at home. Upset, of not shifted. She had been interrupted and had left things helpless. What had interrupted me was that why had that work been left done? She made a move is here to finish it. Unfinished things always bother. And then she glanced around and saw that Miss Feather was watching her, and she didn't want Miss Feathers to get the feeling she had got off work there and then, for some reason, not finished. It sang about her face. She sighed and walked toward the cupboard that the county attorney um, had opened it and got on the chair, murmuring, I wanna eat it. All good. It was a sorry enough looking sight, but here's one that's all right. She sighed at last. She held it toward the light. This is curious to she looked again. I declare, I believe that only the only one. It is right. She returned from the chair with the sea and waved off the light. Shelter of fluid after all her had walked in the hot weather. I remember the afternoon I put up my carriage last summer. She sat at the bottom of the table, and with another sigh started to sit down in the rocker. But she did not sit down. Something kept her from sitting down in that chair. Miss Triton stepped back and held turned away, sitting looking at it and saying the woman who had sat there sitting at her foot. The thin voice of the sheriff's wife broke in upon her. I must be getting these things from the phone room closet. She opened the door into the afternoon, but instead begged, You coming with me, Miss Hell? Yes, nervously. You, you could help me together. We were some bag, the stark contents of the shut-up rooms, not a thing to linger in mind, said Miss Peters, dropping things on the table and hurrying to the house. Miss House stood examining the clothes the woman who was being listened. Netting defined in tone had sighed she was. Right was cool. The equine. holding up a shabby black shirt that bore the mark of much making over. I think maybe that's why she kept so much to herself. I suppose she could do her part, and then you don't enjoy things when you feel shit. She used to wear pretty clothes and the beauty. When she was Minnie Foster, one of the Tongas, singing in the church, but that was 20 years ago, with a carefulness in which there was something tender. She folded the shabby clothes and filled them at one corner of the table. She looked up at Miss Peters, and there was something in the other woman's look that irritated her. She didn't care, she said to herself. Much difference it makes to her whether Minnie Foster had pretty clothes when she was a girl. Then she looked at again, and she was so sure, in fact, she hadn't at any time been perfectly sure about Miss Feather. She had that shrinking manner, and yet her eyes looked as if they could see a long way into things. Is all you want to take it? Asked Miss Shaw. No, sighed the sheriff's wife. She said she wanted an food. Anything to want, she ventured in her nervous little way, for there's not much to get you dirty in jail. Goodness, no. But I suppose just to make her feel more natural if you're used to wearing a food. She said they were in the bottom drawer of his cupboard. Yes, here they are. And then her little shovel that always hung on stairs too. She took the small tray, strolled from behind the door, leading aside and stood a minute looking at it. Suddenly Miss Hale took a quick step toward the other woman, Miss Peters. Yes, Miss Hale. Do you think she did it? Afraid of look lured the other thing in Miss Peters' eyes. Oh, I do not know, she said in voice that seemed to shrink away from the subject. I do think she did offend Miss Charles suddenly asking for an food, and her little show worrying about her food. Miss Peter says, footsteps were heard in the room above. She stood and looked up, then, with an lowered voice, Miss Peter says, looks back for Mr. Hepson is awful sarcastic in speech, and he's going to make fun of her saying she didn't wake up. Why didn't wake up? When they was asleep in this roof under his knee. She muttered, no strength, brother Miss Better. They think it was such a funny what to kill me. She began to laugh. The tone of the laugh abruptly stopped. It's just what Mr. Hell said Mr. Hell, in resolutely natural voice. There was a gun in the house. He says that what he cannot understand. Mr. Henderson sighed, coming out that what was needed for the case was a motive, something show anger or certain feeling. Well, I don't see anything of anger around here, sighed Miss Hale. I don't. She thought it was if her mind traded on something. Her eye was cold. May this tower in the middle of the kitchen table. Slowly she moved toward the table. One half of it was weighted with, the other half missed. Her eyes made a slow, almost unwilling turn to the bucket of sugar and held empty bags beside it. It's weird and not finished after a moment She stepped back and sighed, in that manner of realizing herself for the whole day, finding things up. I hope she had a little more with up here, up there, you know. She paused and feeling it more red up there. It seems kind of sneaky, looking her up in town and coming out her to get her own cause to turn against her. But Miss Hale, said the sheriff's wife, the law is the law. I suppose if this answered Miss Hale shortly. She turned the still saying something about the personal much to break off. She worked with it a minute, and when the strike ended up, they said aggressively, this law and a bad stuff is bad stuff. How you like cook on this winding with her walker to the broken lining. She opened the oven door and started in year after year to have to stove rest with the thought of mini pasta trying to bake in this oven, and the thought of her never going over to mini pasta. She was started by her Miss side, a person that discarded and lost her. The sheriff's wife had looked from the stove to the sea to the pail of water which had been carried in from outside. The two women stood, reciting above them a footstep of the men who were looking for and fighting. Why at why look at this one? He started to deck the block held all the hair. The saving has sight Miss Petter in trouble while all the rest of them have been so nice and even but this one. Why it looks if as if she didn't know what she was about. Their eyes met something pleasant to life, as between them. Then as here, their eyes met something pleasant to life, as between them. Then, as if with an effort, they seemed to pull away from each other. A moment Miss Hale sat there, her hands folded over the ring, which was so unlike all the rest of the series. Then she had pulled a knot and drowned the thread. "Oh, what are you doing, Miss Hale?" asked the thread. Sheriff's wife started, just pulling out a stitch or two that's not sewed very good, said Miss Hale meekly. "I don't think we ought to all things." Miss Petter sighed a little helplessly. "I will just finish up this and answer Miss Hale, still in the middle neither of affection. She treated a middle and started to replace mid sewing with good. For a little while she sat in silence. Then, in that thin kind of voice, she heard, "Miss Hale?" "Yes, Miss Petter. What do you suppose she was so nervous about?" "Oh, I don't know." Said Miss Hale as if his name is still not important enough to even spend much time. "I don't know," as he was nervous. "I so overcare sometimes when I'm just tired." She cut a thread, and off the corner of her eye looked up at Miss Petter. The small and face of the sheriff's wife seemed to have tightened up. Her eyes had that look of peering into something, but next moment she moved and said in her in next why I must get the scores water. Whether they might be true, sure in the cupboard maybe, like suggest my Miss Hell after a glance for one piece of cake. Crazy saving reminded include Miss Better back turning. What the hell? No screenless device compared with the dainty or saving of the other girls. The difference was starting. Opening this blog made her feel queer as it distracted thought of the woman who had perhaps turned it time afraid. His better voice was here. Miss Birdcage. She sighed. Did she have a bird? Miss Hell? Well, I don't know whether she did or not. She turned to look at Miss Cake. Miss Peter was holding up. I have not been. No, she didn't have a cat. This got that feeling some people live about cats being afraid of them. When they brought her to our house yesterday, my cat got in the room and she was real upset and asked me to take it out. Look as if someone must have been. Look with it again, their eyes met started questioning apprehensive. For a moment neither spoke nor stared, then Miss Hale, turning away, said brusquely, "If they are going to find any finds, I will say the about it. I don't like this place, but how cool that you come with me, Miss Hale. Miss Peter with the birdcage. Yes, I wouldn't agreed Miss Hale, despite the minor her in her voice. She had a bad sailing, but not a drop in her lap, and she murmured in different voice. But it tell you what I wish. Miss Peter wished I had come over sometimes when she was here. I had. But of course, you were out so you see Miss Hale, your host and your children. I could come returned Miss Hale shortly. I stayed away because it weren't careful and that's why I hope to have come. I ran in hello and you don't see the road. I don't know what it is but it is a lonesome place. And always what I wish had come over to see me faster sometimes I can see no. She did not put it into words. Uh, well, you mustn't report yourself. Cause with Miss Peter somehow we just then see how it is with others folks till something comes up. Not to know him. I have seen him in town. They say he was a good man. Yes, good. Considered John Wright's neighbor Kenley. He didn't drink and keep his oil almost, I guess, and fight with him. But he was Hartman. Miss Peters just to pass the time of day with him. She stopped short a little like a row when it gets to the bone, her eyes fell open to the table before her, and she added almost bitterly, I don't know, returned Miss Petter, unless I get sick and dead. But after she said it, the reason upward and swooned the broken bird. But the woman watched it as its maw held by it. You didn't know her. Miss Hill asked, gathering not her voice. That had her for a long time. Finally, as if it struck with a happy tone and allowed to get back to every day. Is a climate tell you what, Miss Peter, why don't you take it well in with you? It might take up her mind. Why, I think that's a real nice idea. Miss Pell agreed with Sarah. What is if she were glad come into the atmosphere a simple kind would call and possibly be an objection to that courtyard. No, that's real there. I would have better in here, and her things they turned up to the sewing basket. There's some red, say Miss Hell, bringing out a roll of cloth. Understand what was above. Hermione, her scissors are in here, and her things. She held it up. What a pretty box. I will warn that was something we said of time ago when she was a girl. This isn't her scarcer side, Miss Peter is a strange voice. The time of steady Miss L raised the price of silk of Miss Peter, she cried. This isn't his child, Mr. Peter in shrinking voice. But him not saying. Miss L raised the price of silk. Oh, Miss Peter, she cried this. Miss Peter went closer. It's bird. She whispered back, Miss Peter, cried Miss Hell. Look at it. Its neck, look at its neck, it's all. Other side too. She held the books away from it. Miss Hell slipped the book under the quick face in the basket and sank into the chair before it. Miss Peter stood holding up the table with country attorney and the sheriff's come in from outside. Due to waiting began, the sheriff's wife implored was that she was going to notice. He was too preoccupied to notice the change that came in her voice on the left. Well, that's very interesting, sure. He said tolerantly because it of the bird cake as a good dog. The county attorney did not appear. So slightly of one having come in from the outside. Mr. Peters is the manner of continuing an interrupted conversation. They're on the no, let's go upstairs and go over it. Despite this, they both have to help in someone who will just save the clothes to condemn, and their voice worthless. She like the bird said Martha hello and slowly she was going to bury it in the portals. When I was girl, said Miss Peter, underhanded my kitten. There was a boy who took passage, and before my eyes, before I could get there. And her eyes made a slow sweep of the kitchen, as if saying what that kitchen had been through all the year. No, right? Walden like the birdseed side of the cat, a thing that sound. She assured the same he killed that to her voice deeply. Spiders moved tensely. Of course we don't know who killed the bird. Um, I know John Wright. His mishealth and swear it was awfully uh, thing was done in this house. The drag Miss Hell, said the sheriff's wife, killing a man while sleeping around his neck that showed the life out of him. Miss Hell's hand went to take Mr. Hell had not moved. It's better something she did not know as herself. I know what a stylist is that Miss Heather in just the same one. Then see to prove that the law has got to punish crime, whispers Hell. She should in here right with a little word. I wish you'd been really faster. Was the answer when she wore a white dress with blue ribbons. I make a note she need help. I tell you it's queer. It's better with we life goes together and we life for art. We all good to look toward the sky. She doesn't hear and across her face, then saying the jar of it on the table. She reached for it and choke it out. If I was you, I would not get tell her her good skirt. To her a can tell it's all right, all of it. Yet take this into prove it to her. She may never know whether it was worth or not. Miss Peter recited of Reset author for the battle of as we were dead. But it's touching a familiar thing, having something to be called. It hurt on something else. She asked awoke about for something. Wrapped the breathing book of rockets from the pile of blood she had broke from the ground and restlessly left it winding back around the band. We'll expect the reason for doing it, but Juris, if it comes from equality is find it being something to show. This comes way of doing it. It's a covered whiteness. So I have got the team don't know. It's like pretty cold on out there. I'm going to stay here a while by myself. The county attorney suddenly announced you can stand crying out for me, cannot you? I asked myself. I want to get to go off for everything and not stay with you because you do cannot do other do better. The sheriff come up to the adult. Did you want to see? But Weathers was going to take it. The county attorney picked the opening lock. His his help hand was on the sewing basket in which the box was concealed itself, but she did not seem able to. But he did not take it up. Another below, he turned away, saying, "No, Miss Pepper was indeed surprising, for the maiden, the sheriff's wife, is married to the law. Everything is of it that way, Miss Pepper." Miss Pepper was standing beside the table, and Michelle sharply looked up at her. But she could not see her face. Miss Pepper did not awake. When she spoke, her voice was moved. Oh, she spoke more, not just raised his sight. They walked into the uniform inside the concert attorney. Martha, Carol sprang up, her hands were together, looking at that other one. With one is rest. At first he could not see her eyes, but the sheriff's wife had not turned it back slowly, unlikely Miss Peters turned her head until her eyes met the eyes of the other woman. I pointed the way to the basket in which was hidden the thing that would make certain the conviction of the other woman. The woman who was not there and yet who had been there written all through. For a moment Miss Petter did not move, and then she did it with a rush forward. She trailed back with the basis of the boat, did it with her back. It was with this party of ultimate to protect the bird out. There was a she soon offered no turning in the inner door. Martha held snatched the box from the sheriff's wife and got in the pocket of her the coaches of the sheriff and the county attorney come back into the kitchen. Will Henry inside county attorney Foxley at least he found out that she was not going to quell it. She was going toward it, which you call it lace. His left hand was against the pocket of her coat. We call it not it, Miss Henderson. Okay, thank you very much. Uh, thank you very much. And next time, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.